For myself, I don't give a shit. I don't care. Um, Eventually, as the kid gets bullied, he ends up fighting the bully. It's just what it is.
Nervous, and he's giving off energy as if he's trying to dilute his brain into believing things that are basically not going to happen.
Be on the side of you while he's giving you angles he can match Shakur's speed. Speed, yes. Maybe not technique, but speed, yes. He has better power, and his feet are really good. So when he's on the side and creating angles, yes, I like Shakur on points. I would not be surprised if Teo won.
Teofimo Lopez hits back at Shakur Stevenson after dirty cheat claims. Teofimo didn't sit quietly after Shakur called him out for being a delusional and suggesting he'd use questionable tactics to win. Lopez fired back hard, dismissing the allegations as fear-driven talk and insisting he's not worried about accusations of anything dirty. This is boxing, not playground trash. Teo made it clear he'll defend himself in the ring, not on social media or in press conference. Drama. Right.
I don't, not taking away what the judges and the commission and the referee's job is to do, and that's protect the fighter. Not taking that away. However, if things don't go as questioned or as planned, then just gotta fight through it.
Teofimo Lopez doesn't hold back, analyzing Shakur Stevenson's past fights with sharp precision. He acknowledges Shakur's rise and the skill he's shown, but stresses that one strong performance doesn't guarantee consistency. Lopez warns that he's prepared for any scenario, whether Stevenson comes fully locked in or falters under pressure. It's a clear message. Teo isn't intimidated and is ready to exploit any cracks in Shakur's armor.
The actual fight was, he fought good, but Lomachenko kind of beat himself by not fighting for 6 rounds. And when he realized that Teo wasn't as good as he made him to believe in his brain, is when he started to fight. And when he did that, he started to win the moments.
Loma obviously said that he had a shoulder injury going into the fight. How much of a fact?
Shakur didn't mince words after Teofimo's trash talk and claims about him. He called out Lopez's mental games and flatly dismissed the idea that Teo has ever forced anyone to quit in a real fight, pointing to past opponents who stood their ground. For Stevenson made it clear this isn't just talk. He believes Teo's bravado won't translate into results in the ring.
How he can dilute his brain into believing that when he didn't make Steve Claggett, that's his name, Steve Claggett, quit. Yeah. He didn't make him quit. He didn't make George Kambosos quit. He did not make Lomachenko quit. So what in the world makes him think that he's going to make me quit?
Tim Bradley Jr. praises Shakur Stevenson's resilience and ring intelligence, noting that despite critics claiming he might run under pressure, Shakur has consistently stood firm in the pocket. Bradley highlights how Stevenson adapts to his opponent's game and even improves on areas from past fights. Against Teofimo Lopez, this discipline and tactical precision are exactly what could neutralize Teo's power and aggression, making Shakur a nightmare for any fighter relying solely on bravado. His ability to beat opponents in their own style reflects why he isn't intimidated by pre-fight trash talk or psychological tactics.
Gonna get the best Shakur they've ever seen. You know, I thought his last fight was phenomenal to a degree. I felt like
Malik Scott gives a realistic perspective on what it would take for Teofimo Lopez to shock the world. While he has Shakur winning on points, Scott acknowledges that a sudden, unexpected stoppage could change everything, though it would require Teo performing at an elite, almost unprecedented level. This commentary underscores the mental and physical gulf Shakur has created through his preparation and composure. Lopez can threaten moments, but Scott makes it clear that defeating Shakur requires perfection, not just aggression, reinforcing why Stevenson remains confident, despite Teo's pre-fight claims. The
best bet.
He's on points. I got Shakur on points. Yep. That's smart. Yeah, I just can't. You wonder what would be a shocker if Teo pulled it off and did something like stop Shakur.
But Teo won his 2 biggest fights on points. And by the way,
by nobody that's...
Roy Jones Jr. exposes how Teo must gamble recklessly just to land anything against Shakur Stevenson. Shakur's footwork, defense, and ring make every aggressive move Teo takes risky. He can't rely on power alone. Stevenson's precision and patience force Lopez into mistakes, showing that without flawless execution, Teo will be dismantled. tactically in this fight.
Stylistically, man, how does Shakur beat Teo and vice versa? Stylistically, how does Teo beat Shakur?
Stylistically, Teo got to go in and go for broke. He got to go gamble. He got to take some, get some, and that's just the only way to win. If he stays outside of boxes, Shakur gonna pick him apart. Shakur's a polished boxer with some of the best feet in the game right now, and he's a defensive-minded fighter, which is very smart. It's hard to hit him. He makes you gamble to hit him, and he's gonna be a tough one to deal with. But if Teofimo is willing to gamble to beat him, then Teofimo can definitely make it a really good fight.
Keyshawn Davis warns that Teo's size and hype won't save him. Stevenson's skill, timing, and versatility dominate the ring, leaving Lopez constantly reacting. Every attempt to impose himself will likely fail, as Shakur's preparation exposes Teo's weaknesses. Davis makes it clear, Lopez faces a master tactician who can turn his aggression into vulnerability, making him look amateurish in comparison.
Just know, January 31st, me and Shakur is going to put on dominating performances. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we are the best in boxing, period. Skillfully, physically, any type you want, whatever you want to do, how you want to call it, I feel like we're the best in boxing, me and Shakur, period. And next week we're going to show it.
Gary Antoine Russell underlines that while Teo has strength and athleticism, he cannot match Shakur Stevenson's technique and intelligence. Stevenson reads him, exploits every opening, and forces him into risky gambles. Russell shows that Lopez's natural gifts alone are no match for strategic dominance, meaning Teo is likely to be on the defensive for most of the fight while Shakur sets the pace flawlessly.
Or just looking at that fight stylistically, how does it play out in the ring?
It's 50-50. You know, in order for you to participate in this sport, you gotta have a high level of confidence. I feel like both of them has a high level of confidence, Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but styles make fights. Naturally, I think Teofimo Lopez is stronger than Shakur. Naturally, I think he has more athleticism than Shakur, and he got a good IQ on the sport itself. But Shakur, I feel like he's a more smarter fighter. He's a more technical fighter. You know, I'm not saying that he's a square or he's just a textbook fighter, but he's seasoned, he's poised. I feel like
Kenny Porter warns that Teofimo Lopez is in for a brutal challenge against Shakur Stevenson. While Teo is fast and athletic, Porter emphasizes that speed alone won't be enough. Shakur's defensive mastery and counterpunching ability will force Lopez to gamble recklessly if he wants to land clean shots. This isn't a fight where Teo can overpower his opponent. He must navigate Stevenson's precision and timing perfectly. Sofocanto. One wrong step or miscalculated attack, and Lopez could be exposed repeatedly, highlighting that his raw talent will be tested against Shakur's tactical brilliance.
Teo's definitely in this fight. He's in it to win it. I mean, you're talking pure boxing, Shakur, but we talk a dog, Teo. Yeah. And Teo's just as fast. I mean, like, there's speed and there's elite speed. Teo's got speed. Shakur's got elite speed. But that's not too far off, especially when you're not a come-forward fighter. Shakur's not a come-forward, step to you with my speed.
Antonio Tarver highlights that Teofimo Lopez's only hope is relentless combinations and aggression. While Teo can be dangerous with both hands and heavy combos, Tarver points out that Shakur Stevenson's slick defense and ring turn every attack into a calculated risk. Lopez must force exchanges, but even then, Stevenson's patience and accuracy can punish overcommitment. Tarver frames this as a classic clash of raw power versus technical precision, where Lopez's explosiveness alone won't guarantee success. To win, Teo must be flawless under pressure, or Shakur will systematically dismantle his offense.
And what makes Teofimo, I believe, dangerous in this fight, he throws both hands in succession. He's a combination type puncher, and that always serves well if you got a real slick defensive fighter in there. If Shakur can show us a little bit of that, what he had in his last fight, a lot of that work in the center of the ring, it's going to be.
Mike Scott stresses that Teofimo Lopez cannot afford mistakes against Shakur Stevenson. While Teo has elite speed and knockout power, Scott warns that overcommitting or misjudging distance could be fatal. Shakur's technical skills and defensive awareness exploit the smallest openings, making Lopez's explosive attacks double-edged swords. Every rush or poorly timed combination risks leaving him exposed. Scott emphasizes that precision, patience, and fundamentals favor Stevenson, and even a physically gifted fighter like Teo must respect Shakur's experience and ring intelligence, or he'll find himself on the wrong end of a technical masterclass. Oh.
I have Shakur winning. I think Teo, concerning explosiveness, he get it. Rapid speed, he get it. But I think when it comes to the craft and fundamentals, you have to go with Shakur. To me, he's a lot more seasoned. And plus, I just believe Teofimo, he makes mistakes to me you just can't make when you're fighting Shakur.
Like what?
You can't be.
Emiliano Vargas, having sparred with Shakur Stevenson, issues a stark warning to Teofimo Lopez. Vargas stresses that while Lopez has the tools to make it competitive, the fight could go either way depending on who shows up. If Teo fails to adapt to Shakur's rhythm and timing, he will struggle to impose his power. Stevenson's preparation, footwork, and composure make him unpredictable and difficult to hit cleanly. Vargas highlights that Lopez must bring his A game from round one. Otherwise, Stevenson's methodical precision and tactical brilliance could neutralize his speed and explosiveness, leaving Teo exposed throughout.
I think it would go the distance. I can see a decision for Shakur. I can see a decision for Teofimo. It just depends on how if Shakur wants to fight or not, how the judges are gonna score it. So it just depends on which fighter shows up for each.
Ben Whitaker stresses that Teofimo Lopez is a flashy fighter with undeniable skill, but Shakur Stevenson remains the smart choice. While Teo brings athleticism, awkward angles, and power, Whitaker highlights that Shakur controls the pace and maintains impeccable distance. Lopez can create dangerous moments, but Shakur's defensive mastery and ring IQ allow him to dictate exchanges and neutralize Teo's unpredictability. Whitaker warns that Teo's flashy style alone won't win this fight. He must adapt constantly and take calculated risks to land meaningful shots. Any lapse in strategy or overconfidence could be exploited by Stevenson, who thrives on precision, timing, and patience. This is a classic case where raw talent meets tactical brilliance, and Teo must elevate his fight EQ to survive against Shakur.
He's funny, he's got character, but he's a great fighter. He's very athletic. He comes from awkward angles, and I do like his style, but I study boxing, I watch boxing, and I do like Shakur's style. The way he breaks his opponents down, he slows it down to his pace, he's got good distance. If you got to pick someone, I'm going Shakur, but it's a great fight. They're both young, both in their...
The Wade concept calls out Teofimo Lopez's overconfidence, saying his delusion may be his biggest weakness. While Teo truly believes he's the best in the world, Wade warns that unshakable self-belief can backfire against a technical genius like Shakur Stevenson. Confidence is one thing, but underestimating Shakur's footwork, counterpunching, and defensive mastery will leave Lopez exposed. Teo's arrogance might push him to overcommit or gamble unnecessarily, handing momentum to Stevenson. No. Wade frames the fight as a test of mental strength as much as skill. Teo must temper his bravado with strategy, or Shakur will methodically pick him apart. Believing he's untouchable isn't enough. Execution under pressure will define whether Lopez survives or gets dominated.
Is they possess a level of delusion that allows them to believe they're the best at what they do on the planet, and there is no reservations about that. Like, I agree with Shakur that Teo legitimately thinks he's the best boxer in the world and has no reservations about it. Like,
Tim Bradley warns that Teofimo Lopez's left hook could be a game changer, but Shakur Stevenson knows how to handle it. Lopez's power is undeniable, and his left hook is his signature weapon capable of faltering the fight in a single swing. Bradley emphasizes that Stevenson's footwork, anticipation, and defensive awareness will be crucial in minimizing this threat. Teo can land the left hook if Stevenson miscalculates timing or distance, but Bradley predicts Stevenson will force Teo into predictable patterns, exposing openings for counters. Lopez must be precise and disciplined, or his most feared weapon could become a liability. This fight will test whether Teo can combine his power with strategy, or if Shakur's calculated defense neutralizes Lopez's knockout potential.
The punch that I'm worried about for Shakur getting hit with
the most from Teo, and he's devastating with this punch, is the left hook. Okay? The left hook.
Eddie Hearn praises Shakur Stevenson's discipline while highlighting Teofimo Lopez's vulnerability outside the ring. Hearn points out that Shakur's consistency, professionalism, and dedication to camp make him nearly untouchable in preparation, whereas Lopez has historically struggled with focus and discipline. Teo's fame, criticism, and past distractions could disrupt his trajectory, leaving him exposed to Shakur's methodical precision. Hearn frames this fight as a battle of preparation and mentality. Stevenson's principle-driven approach contrasts sharply with Teo's unpredictable character and emotional tendencies. If Lopez can't stabilize his mindset and maintain focus, he risks being outclassed technically and tactically. Shakur's dominance isn't just physical, it's built on patience, preparation, and the ability to exploit Teo's mistakes at the highest level.
Teofimo's been like this, and coming off the back of the Teofimo Lopez fight, Loma fight, he lost the trajectory because life gets tough. You know, when these kids start all of a sudden making a load of money, getting a load of criticism, finding fame, like, it's not easy to deal with. Fighters should look at Shakur. He's always in camp. He's never out of shape. You'll never see him out drunk. You'll never see him out doing stupid things. And because the money is secondary. Legacy is print.
This fight isn't just about power, it's about pride, strategy, and who can impose their will in the ring. Teofimo Lopez comes in full of confidence, ready to prove Shakur Stevenson wrong, but Shakur's discipline, footwork, and defensive mastery make him a nightmare to crack. Every punch, every feint, every calculated step counts. Fans are buzzing, analysts are debating, and one thing is clear: this isn't a fight to miss. So, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join us as we break down every moment of this epic showdown. Who do you think will dominate the ring?